Micheline Rama. I'm part of DAKILA, Philippine Collective for Modern Heroism. I'm currently the executive director but was also one of the founders back when I was in college. I think when we start out as young people, we always have a dream to change the world. DAKILA was born out of that dream na literally mga ideas habang nagiinom, habang nag-uusap tungkol sa lipunan. We wanted to create something that would allow for creative people to be part of a human rights community, to be part of advocacy. So DAKILA really started out as a wild idea that we just followed through on back in 2005. So DAKILA is called the Philippine Collective for Modern Heroism. And when we talk about heroism, it's really rooted in kadakilaan, or greatness in Filipino, but more specifically in the idea of bayani. So hindi ito yung Western concept ng heroes na may radioactive spiders or may lilipad na lang at darating. Kasi sa pag tinignan natin yung word na bayani, ano ito? Bayan and I. So rooted ka sa lipunan mo, rooted ka sa bayan, may pakialam ka sa nangyayari sa bayan. At kapag may pakialam ka sa nangyayari sa bayan, gusto mong tumulong, gusto mong to go above and beyond yourself to really have a stake in your nation and your society. And pag marami tayong gumagawa nun, nag-e-evolve yan at nagiging bayanihan. So for us, heroism really is what we call yung 3B, diba? Bayan, bayani, at bayanihan. A lot of people, when they define human rights, they look at the word rights. They look at the word kung ano yung mga laws, ano yung mga policies na meron to protect our rights. In DAKILA, we do things a little differently. We look at the word human. What are the things that allow us to retain our humanity, that allow us to live our lives? So we look at whether your life is protected, whether you're allowed to have a livelihood that supports the life that you want, and whether you have a lifestyle that allows you to express yourself, your culture, practice your beliefs, start a family, and express yourself in the way that is true to yourself. So when we say human rights, it's easy. Just look at what makes us human. Inherent sa lahat sa atin ang pagiging human rights defender. It's in our interest, right? To defend ourselves and our rights. So we can practice this by everyday practices, even by just enjoying the rights that we already have. But also, we can start speaking up for those whose rights are being abused or being taken away from them. So to be a human rights defender doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be on the front lines, but you do have to have an everyday commitment to defending human rights. May label na ginagamit sa youth ngayon, yung tinatawag nilang wokeness, diba? Or woke youth. This means that the youth today, especially in the Philippines, are already human rights defenders. And what we should do is to encourage them to do what they're already doing, but also help them expand the platforms on their advocacies. I think the youth really have a lot of platforms for defending their rights, defending their values and principles. So they have the online space, they have the offline space, and I think they're very creative in maximizing their opportunities to make their voices heard. And us, as more senior human rights defenders, I think we should keep encouraging them, keep giving them the tools that they need, and really work together so that we can have a more meaningful culture of human rights in the Philippines. Sa tingin ko, madaling hanapin yung mukha ng makabagong bayani. Tingin ka lang sa salamin. Look at yourself in the mirror. That's you. The potential to be the greatest hero of our time is in everyone. And if everyone activates that innate heroism, that inner bayani, we can all be human rights defenders. We can all have the nation that we want. When we talk about human rights work, laging ginagamit yung term na defense or protect or fight. And I think that's just one part of the equation because it frames it as a struggle, and it is a struggle. But one of the things that we have to look at is also celebrating a culture of human rights and cultivating a meaningful culture of human rights where we all value and believe in human rights. So in this space, there's many roles that people can play. There's the frontliners, of course, yung mga human rights lawyers natin, yung mga defenders natin na talagang sumasabak sa front lines. But in other spaces, there's ways where we can even just encourage the fact that we can talk about human rights, we talk about how we defend human rights, and we practice the human rights that are given to us. So we express ourselves and we really not only defend and fight, but also celebrate and uphold our human rights. We encourage you to celebrate the human rights defenders doing great work here in the Philippines. Please submit your nominations for the Ignite Award Season 2. For organizations and individuals, just visit the Amnesty website to find out how you can nominate your favorite human rights defender.